Hey guys, happy new year. Yes, I can say happy new year because this is the 1st of January 2024. Hopefully I will turn out this video quite early so that my happy new year will still be happy new year and I don't like release it when it's like February or something. So quickly, I just thought to do this video because I am all about sharing about my lifestyle in Canada. I am a recent Canadian immigrant. See, I came into Canada about 8 months ago and it's been a lot. Like, yeah, it's been a lot. I'm very grateful for everything. I am so grateful to God for every single thing. It's been a journey, it's been a blessing. So one thing that comes out in many Canadian conversations, that like when you're relocating to Canada, people that are in Canada are like this is not what it is healthcare. Healthcare is big all over the world. In anything, like, it stems across different things, and healthcare is very paramount for every single person because that's one aspect. Some other things might not touch you, but you know, healthcare, there's nobody that can run away from it for whatever reason. So I just wanted to share my experience in a Canadian hospital because I recently had to like undergo a procedure, and I just want to like share everything. I will be holding nothing back, what I can share basically, like my experience basically. So I had to undergo a procedure, not an emergency, but emergency. So I'll say emergency, but it was not life-threatening. Okay, so let me just say it was not life-threatening. So typically when you're in Canada, let me break it down. So when you come into Canada, depending on your status, I think for students you might need to pay for insurance or so. For permanent residents, you don't need to pay, is one of the benefits. So, but when you come in, you go register at your center. Ours is like Service Ontario. You register and they give you a health card. When you have your health card, you can go into like any walk-in basically. So in Canada, you can't just walk in into anywhere. You can, but most times they advise you to have like a family doctor. There are walk-in clinics, but they might not attend to you. If they are not like your doctors, they will prioritize their own patients over you. So they're like walk-in centers. That's not the proper hospital. But before you go to the hospital for something, like in my case, I had to like undergo a procedure. Your doctor has to like introduce you. You can't just walk into the hospital and say I want to do this and that, the way you have it back in Nigeria. So whatever they are doing, if you're pregnant, you need to register through a doctor and all that. The process of registering for a doctor is another daunting task. In my case, because of where I stay in Canada, I think I didn't really find it difficult to get a family doctor. So they call it family doctor. I know in the UK they call it general practitioners, GPs. You register with a GP and it's the same thing. In Canada, it is called family doctor. So you have to register at a family doctor's place, walk in, and those ones close. Hospitals do not close, but those ones close for the day and all that. If there are public holidays, they might not be there. Your doctor will not be there every single day. So you need to like register with a family doctor. The person knows your history, whatever is going on with you. If you need to like go for any procedure or anything, they are the ones that will recommend you to a suitable hospital depending on what you want to go for. The hospital will call you and they start booking it from there. So when I came in April, I didn't get a family doctor immediately. I actually searched for like 3 months. I had 2 options. I eventually found one. In fact, I had like top 2. So I'm so grateful for where I stay in Canada, in Ontario, because I know a lot of people look for doctors and they don't get. I was like favored to even have like 2. I have to cancel 1 to stay with 1, if you understand, because you need to register with only 1. So we had like 2, like they were like, okay, we are taking you and your family and everything, and I had to like, okay, which one do I go with? And I went with the one that was like closest to the house. So it's like 10 minutes away from the house. So of course they will do your profiling, your back history from home, all my children's immunization cards and everything. They registered everything. They need to have all your history like up to date, so that whatever is going on with you. In fact, they sent me a letter just yesterday for my blood group. I am A negative, and they are taking it like very serious. They are like, you need to submit this to any hospital you go to. So they ran all the blood work, and when they discovered that, that's an aside, they have to send me a letter. Like, I should always inform anybody, because when you have a blood group of negative, you have to let people be aware of different things. So back to my story. So I went to my doctor after I found the doctor after like 3 months in Canada, and I told them that I needed to do something, a gynecology stuff, and they like, okay, told me this is how it usually works. We know this thing is with you, you need to work on this thing for so reason, but it's not an immediate thing. If it's not life-threatening, you'll be on the wait list for I don't know how long, until whenever they call you for something or when you're ready to take you at the hospital. So because like I said, it was not life-threatening, I just left it, and I was like, okay, whenever they call me, they call me. And I was actually like expecting like a 1 year wait list, to be on the wait list for like 1 year or something. And to my amazement, they called me in, I think, September or October. Yeah, I think October, yes, October. And they told me they were ready for the surgery. I was not ready because, yeah, this is not Nigeria that you have help and everything. And this kind of surgery, of course, you need help. It's like having to go undergo like a cesarean section, something like that. Not up to that level, but it's a level of pain, of course, with surgery. And I was like, I don't think, I'm still settling down. I don't think I'm ready yet and everything. So I really wanted, because my mom is a nurse, I was hoping that my mom will be available whenever I'll be doing the surgery so that she can like help me and all that. My husband was like, well, let's wait for your mom to come. So I kept declining, which is like, Tommy, are you okay? This is so, to an ordinary person, the person will be like, Tommy, are you okay? They don't decline such. You should even be fortunate. You're fortunate, or you should even be happy that they booked you. They booked you and you're saying no, you're not ready. But I was not ready. There was nothing I could do, because this kind of thing, I needed like help around that kind of thing. My husband was like, okay, if it comes to like that, maybe we just go, but if not, if possible. So because I knew my mom was coming in December for Christmas holidays, I was like, God, I just pray that they book me for December and all that. They called me in again in November, and I said I was not ready. In a Canadian hospital, because you know the way people mention healthcare and all that, in Canada healthcare is actually a big deal. People wait for months before they get to see like specialists, and my own case had to do with like a specialist case. It's not just a regular doctor. This is like a, what do they call them? It's a physician specialist, that kind of thing. And I kept declining. I had gone for the first visit. My husband and myself went together. We saw the doctor. This woman is so amazing, by the way. And she saw me. She's well in her 70s, but she was so smart, and she was like, don't worry. She was like Toby, don't worry, everything will be fine. The surgery is just going to be like this. I was already getting scared. Me, I don't like pain. I don't like anything surgery. So my husband was, of course, he held me and was like, Toby, everything will be fine. And they called me again in November, and I declined, and I was like, I was not ready. So they usually call you like 1 or 2 weeks, and they will even call me like 1 month before. They'll be calling me like 1 or 10 days before, like, oh, Tommy, you've been booked for another surgery or so date. I'm like, guys, I need to prepare myself. I need to like get the kids prepared and everything. I don't have help, like, so to say. So it went on like that. So the third time in December, fortunately, they called me twice in December 7 and December 15, and I was like, okay, I had a lot to also do. I had like brands and adverts I was working on. I was like, I don't want to like start giving excuses to anybody to start saying I don't like sentiments and all that. These people have trusted me with their money. I don't want to start attaching sentiments. So I was like, okay, by the time I finished everything I'm doing first week in December, hopefully by December 15, I'll be available to do the surgery, because of course it's a surgery. I might be sore for like days or weeks or whatever, and that's not the time to start carrying camera. So I was like, okay, let me just do everything between the 1st of December to like mid-December. And so I was like walking back to back. I made sure that I finished everything on my plate, and I made sure that I had done justice to everybody. So I was so fine, and I was like, okay, let's do this. It was a few days to Christmas, but I was like, no problem, I'll do it. It doesn't matter. My mom was already around, thankfully. So I declined the December. I had 2 dates in December 7 and December 15. I declined December 7, and I said I was going to go for December 15. So this is what typically happens. So before the surgery, they will call you for pre-operation to go through everything. They would do your blood work to be sure that you're okay to undergo the surgery. So I went for the pre-op the Wednesday before the surgery. Surgery was on Friday, December 15. I went for the pre-op December 13 to the hospital. I did the surgery in one very big hospital, St. Joseph's. It's massive and big, and they have different centers. So where I went to see my doctor was different. Where I went for pre-op was different. Surgery place is also different. So they have it like that in like different areas. So I went for the pre-op. I didn't know I was even going to share this video, so I didn't do a lot of videos, but the few videos I have, I'll be sharing them. So I went for pre-op. I did my blood work, everything was fine. They would like take you through everything. They would like, so they need to be sure that what you're undergoing, you're okay for it and all that. So I did everything was looking fine. They told me the particular time to come for the surgery, that I must be at the hospital by 6 a.m. on the day of surgery, and they told me everything. My husband was not around at that moment. He had just traveled. So I was like, okay, what do I do? I was even thinking that I'll just take like an Uber back home. They're like, no, you can't take an Uber. It's a surgery. Somebody has to drive you from the hospital to your home. Someone we can trust, somebody you know. So I had to like drop somebody's name. Thankfully, I have a very, very amazing friend. She doesn't like to show herself, by the way, and she came to pick me after surgery. As in, like, I've been blessed with people in Canada. I was so scared coming here, but the little things are the big things for me. Like, I've been blessed with people to be very, very sincere. I've been blessed with people, and this platform has given me like amazing people. Like, just from sharing this, people have reached out to me. I don't take it for granted. To me, people blessing is more than money blessing, to be very, very honest. That's my own personal opinion. So she picked me. So let me go back to when I went for pre-op and the surgery. So on the day of the surgery, at pre-op, they told me to come by 6 a.m, that the surgery will be by 9 a.m. And I like the fact that it was like scheduled, kept to time, not like you're wondering, oh, when is this happening and all that. The thing with Canadian healthcare is that it might take some time before you access it, but when you actually do, goodness, like goodness, I wish they could be like America do, that sometimes you could actually pay for it or pay with insurance, because maybe it will make it better. I think what is making it not so like okay is because the fact that it is free. And to be honest, Canada is saturated. That's the honest truth. They are not like equipped for the number of people. That's the simple truth for what I believe. And because they still believe in like their perfection and all that, if you're not like trained in Canada, it might be difficult for you to practice as a doctor or nurse or something. That is what makes it difficult. Health workers are willing, they take them more in the UK, but Canada, I don't know, maybe they should work on something like that, sha. So, but the thing is, most people complain about accessing the healthcare, but the moment you can access it, it's like you would appreciate it. And that was how it was in my case. To be honest, in my case, it was not even so difficult accessing the healthcare. To be very, very honest, in my case, I won't even like give any. I said they called me 3 times, and I was like, I mentioned that I wanted to do this thing like in August, and by October they were already calling me that they wanted me to come do the surgery. So that happened in my case. Another thing is, which my friend told me, that my region is quite fortunate to have like a lot of hospitals, healthcare around. So even for like emergency services, there are places that you go to 1 hour they've attended to you. In this Canada, in Ontario, some people complain, but to be very, very honest with you guys, my case has been like, I get it almost, in fact, even lesser than the time that I estimate or something. In my mind, I'll be like, maybe I'll wait for 7 hours. In 1 hour, I've gotten attention. That's been my situation, to be very honest. God, I'm just thankful for that. So that was how it went for pre-op. And okay, so for on the day of the surgery, I arrived by 6 a.m. I left in an Uber. My mom was back home with my kids. My friend was on standby. Like, she was on standby. Goodness, like, I'm so thankful. She was on standby, like, told me just call me at any time. I had a cold that morning, and if you have a cold, you might not be able to have a surgery. I don't even know where the cold came from, but fortunately, if you have like 2 or more 3 or more symptoms, and if you have a sore throat, they might not be able to do the surgery again, because I think it affects the anesthesia and all that, and I had to have the general anesthesia. So I got to the hospital. I told them, I was like, I don't know where this cold is coming from. They booked me in by 7. I got there by 6:30. They booked me in by 7. I went through like the registration and everything. They booked me in, changed to this dress and all the hospital garments. My belongings were locked in the locker. I had the key. They kept the key somewhere. Everything was just like that. By 9 on the dot, a nurse came to me, gave me some medication, asked me for my history. They will keep telling you, repeat your name, your date of birth, so that you are sure everything is on record. You're not having a surgery that is for something else. I mentioned the name of the surgery I was having. I kept mentioning my name, my full name, my date of birth, and the surgery. So the 3 things: your full name, my date of birth, and the surgery I was having. So they will keep, like, at different times, the anesthetist will come talk to you, the doctor in charge will come talk to you, the assistant doctors. Like, it was a team, do you understand? And you keep repeating it to every single person. What surgery are you having today? In layman's terms, even if you don't know the biological name, say it the way you know it. And that kept on going on. They were like, okay, don't worry, everything will be fine. They kept on, like, calming me down. They knew I was tense, and I was like, okay, I have a cold. And they're like, no worries, do you have a sore throat? They tested something and they said, okay, they are fine, you can take anesthesia. Guys, I was scared. They wheeled me into the operating theater. I was like, man, I get cold easily. They put, like, a lot of warm blankets. Like, that was my first time of somebody really attending to me and getting to, like, okay, we are listening to you. I would ask them, okay, what's the name of this medication? They would tell me. What's the name of this injection? They would tell me. I was like, okay. I had experienced that in the US, but I was getting that in Canada again, and I was so grateful for that. Honestly, so grateful for that. I like the fact that it's my body, let me know what is going inside, that kind of thing. Even if I don't know, let me even have an idea, or even break it down to me, so to say. And they were really, like, patient in breaking it down at every single time. So I got into the operating theater. Like, a team of about 7 or 8 people were there, and I was like, oh wow. And they started, they were still talking to me. Guys, that was the last thing I remembered. The next thing I remembered was that the surgery was around 9, or let's say 9:30. By the time they went through everything, like 9:30, I woke up at 11:30. And I think it was the pain that woke me up. I was just like, I'm in pain. Immediately I said I was in pain, a nurse rushed to me and she was like, oh, okay, I'll give you this now. They were just like, okay, do this now, that kind of, we don't want you to be in pain and all that. And I was like, okay, I'm in pain. How are you now? What's your pain threshold? I'll be like 9/10. I don't like pain. I'll be like 9/10. That was the same thing I used to say. I was saying when I was in America to birth my second son. And I'm like 9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10. And they would give me, like, strong medications, like real strong medications. My mom calls it something controlled drugs. So they're like controlled drugs that they give you. You're not supposed to take it anyhow. You're not supposed to, like, drive and all that. So I was taking those heavy, like, pain medications. By the first day I actually felt better. So it was like that. I was discharged that day, but they had managed the pain to an extent. They're like, of course you feel pain anytime you feel pain. And I had like 3 levels of medication. When you are in very strong pain, use this one. Middle pain, use this one. I can't mention the names of the medications for, like, privacy and all. So it was like that. Less pain, take this one. So it was like that. I had my medications, I had everything. They made sure when I was completely fine, they called my friend that I said was on standby to come pick me, and she was there in like 5 minutes. Like, she was literally on standby. So they call you, they need to be sure the nurse that is taking you downstairs in a wheelchair is literally like handing you over to, they made sure that it's not a taxi or anything, someone that, oh, you know this person, and it's the person that they called on phone. So whilst I was still in the hospital, because of the thing they put on me for oxygen, I had to get an oxygen mask and everything. I was having sore throat, and I was like, oh, I'm having sore throat. Immediately they gave me a popsicle. I was like, oh, am I allowed to take something cool? They're like, why not? Something like that the popsicle will help for the sore throat. That was my first time of hearing that popsicles would help for sore throat. You know, back in Nigeria, when you have like a cold or something, that's when you'll be shouting, don't take anything cold and all like that. But they gave me a popsicle. In fact, they gave me 2 popsicles. I was just talking on this. They're like, do you feel better? And I said, yes, I feel better. It felt like I was like home, away from home. Like that, those few hours, like, it was like good care, to be very, very honest. Like, it was really good care. I was still very bloated. Of course, those are brand new from surgery, in pain. When I'm in pain, it's like I double in size. And like I said, it was like a surgery that my tummy was open and all that. So, and I felt a lot bloated. In fact, I'm still a lot bloated till now. They told me that it would take some time. I'm having my post-op in like 2 weeks or 4 weeks from now, and they even said I should give myself like a 6-week window. I drive now, but of course with care and all, so I've just been taking it easy. The surgery was just like some days before Christmas. Actually, I think I mentioned it in my Christmas video that I didn't even know I could stand for a long time. I couldn't stand for a long time. Like, my mom was like, she was amazing with my kids. Like, she did a lot. Like, they took care of everything, single thing. Like, you can imagine, like, just putting my foot up, like I'm not doing anything. So I actually felt when I was like, okay, let me make something for Christmas. But just even planning, like, we just order food in. I can't even drive far to see people or anything, but I was still able to like host people for Christmas in my way. I'm so thankful. So guys, that is my experience at a Canadian facility or hospital. So far, I know Canadian healthcare, accessing the healthcare, I know most people are aggrieved by that. Most people do not like the way it's going. Like, I will say, I won't say something negative if I've not received something negative. I know the wait times can be crazy in some places, but let me just say, like my realtor will say to me, you're just fortunate that you stayed in this place. And that is what is even me, like, that is the one another thing that is making me like appreciate where I am right now in Ontario. Like, I didn't even know that fact, but I just decided to come here, and I'm so thankful that this is one of the privileges I get staying here. I know people from like far, like over 70-75 kilometers away from where I stay, come down here to access healthcare, and I'm just like in the middle. So I think that is another thing that worked for me. Probably that is why it was fast for me. I didn't have to wait. Most times emergency around here, you don't wait for a long time. Even my mom had to go to an emergency like when she was here, and she didn't have to wait for a long time. So that has been our experience in Canada, accessing healthcare and everything. I know there are negatives to it, but probably hopefully they can work on it in the future. Some people don't even mind paying. I know people that drive all the way to the US to access healthcare. If that can be done in Canada, it might be expensive, but I don't know. It might be expensive, but I don't know. At least if you're not paying everything at once and you're paying it little by little, yeah, it will be okay. Because I know in Yankee it's expensive, I know, but knowing that you can access healthcare, I don't know, it's a lot. To be honest, it's a lot. At some point, for one reason or the other, money is the least of anybody's problems. You don't even think of how much you are spending. The most important thing is that let me even get to you, let me even have someone attend to me. So I hope they can work on that. But so far, my experience has been pleasant. I am so thankful for everything. Thank you so much for listening to me, guys. Thank you so much for listening to me up to this time. If you enjoyed this video, please thumbs up. Don't keep this to yourself, and kindly subscribe if you've not subscribed already. I hope to see my subsequent ones. Stay beautiful, stay blessed. Bye. By the way, I am fine now. I'm really okay now. I'm fine. Thank you so much. I'm fine now. Bye.